Hello and welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about the second iteration of the Maneuvers clan event that Wargaming just announced today. So, what is Maneuvers? That's going to be a question I know a few of you are going to be asking. Essentially, it is Wargaming's new brainchild for a clan event. If you'll have heard of Competitive World of Tanks, I'm sure you will have heard of the campaigns and the global map. Well, essentially Maneuvers is designed to replace that. So, it is effectively 7 versus 7, tier 10, using the in-game strongholds mechanic, which I'm sure a few of you will have played, tier 10, tier 8, tier 6, advances. It's essentially using the tier 10 stronghold function of that to participate in a clan event. So, how do you take part? That's a question I know is going to be asked. So, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to be in a clan that is taking part. So, ask your current clan commander or staff if they're going to be playing. If not, maybe have a look on the World of Tanks Discord, see if any other clans are recruiting. Put yourself out there, maybe make a post and ask if anyone wants to recruit you. That's how I would recommend getting yourself to play. And then essentially what it'll be is you'll be put in a team and you'll play with a clan. And how it works once you're there and you're actually in a team, you're going to be playing for 2 hours a night between the 11th and the 24th of March. So it's 2 weeks, 2 hours a night. It's not a great deal of time invested, but if you play a couple of hours in the evening anyway, why not give it a go? Because, let's talk rewards. The rewards for this event are pretty okay. The traditional old style of clan events, which was campaigns and global map, used to have to play for 6-7 hours a night for the same kind of rewards. So to reduce it down to 2 hours a night, you're saving yourself about 2/3 of the time, which is pretty nice. So, what can you get for playing Maneuvers? So, as you play and win games, you'll earn individual fame points. And what you do is you spend your individual fame points in the individual personal fame point shop. So, what are some of the things you can pick up? Well, you can get yourself up to 3,000 bonds, some premium days, credits, crew members, training guides, reserves, bond equipment. At the minute, it looks like we potentially might only be able to get bond vents and bond hardening, but it's better than nothing, right? Pick yourself up 4 nice 2D styles. And finally, the pinnacle of the rewards, you can pick yourself up one of 6 tier 10 vehicles. So you have the VK7201K, which is quite old, big German tier 10 heavy. You've got the T95E6, American medium, Object 907, Russian medium, Caro, the Comparamento, however you say it. Sorry, I don't speak Italian. Italian medium tank, the 121B, Chinese medium tank, and the new-ish, it was released in February 2023, the 116F3, a tier 10 Chinese heavy tank. They are the pinnacle of rewards, and you can use your personal fame points to pick one up, which is pretty cool. And then basically, normally how it works is you spend the amount of fame points you need to pick up the tank, which is normally determined by the top 9,000, basically get enough fame points to get the tank. You get it, and then any fame points you have left over, you spend on bonds, equipment, styles, reserves, and crew members. That's kind of how it works. So, what are the other rewards that are available? Well, there are some clan awards available. If you've looked through the article, unfortunately the article doesn't really list what the clan awards are, but I've spoken to Ramsdorf and he's confirmed that there's going to be some badges. So, the G badges, which I'm sure you'll have seen. It's the gold G that you'll see some good players having. Well, there's a new one of that, which was released in summer 2023 with the first iteration of Maneuver, which is the red, acorn shape. That's going to be available again for the top 1% of clan and individual fame point players. And potentially we might be looking at a individual kind of clan point if you finish within the top 50% of clans, which is a kind of a nice badge. So, that is essentially what Maneuvers is. That's how you get the stuff. That's how you get the reward, how you play, take part. What are the changes? Because as I said, this is the second iteration of Maneuvers from the summer 2023 one. So, the first iteration had its issues. It wasn't perfect. The battle type was standard, so there was each had your own cap, so each team had their own cap, which effectively meant that teams could camp. They would just sit in their own base with 7 tanks, and it was really difficult to push. So, the changes that's been made, it has been switched from standard to encounter, which is a good change because it means there's only one cap, a neutral cap in the center of the map, which forces teams to have to contest the cap or play actively in order to not get capped out, because if they just sit in their spawn, they're probably going to get capped. So, that is a really good change. Well done, Wargaming. Secondly, we've got a new kind of personal fame point booster. So if you play random games, you get 2 times XP for your first battle win of the day. Same kind of concept's going to be here with the fame points. We don't quite know what that kind of multiplier is going to be yet, but I imagine it would be 1.5 to 2%. Sorry, 1.5 to 2 times boost, which is pretty nice. Then, one of the essential key mechanics of maneuvers is if your tank gets destroyed, you have to repair it using repair points, which you get through progressing through the event in the clan progression system. So if you don't understand that, it's really complex. I'd recommend checking out the article and it will kind of explain it for you. But you use those repairs to repair your vehicle with X amount, but you used to have to go into an external tab in the first iteration. In the second tab, you can do it straight from the event battle room, which is a good change. Well done, Wargaming. And the final change is the first iteration didn't have a bond auction, which I know some of you would have definitely taken part in the old clan events. Well, they've brought the bond auction back. So if you don't want to play this actively, maybe just play enough games to build yourself the pass to enter the auction, then enter the auction, beat your hundreds of thousands of bonds that I'm sure some of you have, and pick yourself up one of the 6 tanks. So, what are my opinions? Well, as a competitive player who's played competitive for a long time, I'm conflicted. I like that Wargaming are developing competitive. I like that Wargaming are spending time thinking about what could make the competitive scene in World of Tanks interesting, more active, and better. Do I think they've done it right? No. Wargaming have really gone about changing the competitive clan scene in the wrong way, in my opinion. There has been a significant lack of communication, which has left a lot of people who would play competitive clan events pretty annoyed and pretty disingenuated, because we were all expecting in summer 2023 for another global map event. We're expected to play on the global map like we all know and love, and then we got given this. It had its issues. They've come back. After the first iteration, they said, we're going to make changes. They've come back and basically given us exactly the same event with very minor changes, which is really frustrating because the kind of general consensus from the player base after the first iteration was, we don't like this. Why have we got this? We didn't get an explanation. We got a roundabout kind of saying, we're trying something new. Which, okay, as I said, I like that, but you should take into opinion and take into account the opinions of your most competitive players, which have just been ignored. This is a competitive clan event. Why are you ignoring the player base that is most invested in this? It has its issues, and the key issues like the repairs, it's just such a bad system. The fact that there's time zones you can reset, it is just so badly designed and thought through that it is. If Wargaming continue down this path, I really do fear for the competitive clan scene, because I already know so many players that would play every global map event. They would be there, eager to play in every single one of them, just don't care. There is just no willingness, there's no care to play this new event, because it's just not the same thing. The old global map had a feeling of nostalgia. You were actually fighting for something for every game. For land, it felt like every game mattered. In this, you're just playing tier 10 strongholds. And that, for competitive players, that's a really hard thing to kind of distinguish between just kicking around and playing some tier 10 strongholds and then also just playing this new maneuvers event. It really is flawed, in my opinion. And Wargaming, I really do implore you, please communicate with us. Tell us why we have this. Tell us what you want to do with this. We don't know where you want to go with this in the future. At the minute, all we know is this is what we've got. Tell us, are we ever going to get another global map event? Because at the minute, we don't know. The website is still up, for God's sake. You can still go on the global map and see the global map from 18 or so months ago that was still there. There's just a distinct lack of communication, and it's resulting in a lot of players who play competitive clan events just not being interested. And I do fear it could lead to the death of World of Tanks competitive clan-based events. You know, we do have clan rivals, but that's not for everyone. This, campaigns with the accessible, competitive kind of game mode that a lot of players looked forward to, and when they could challenge themselves. You know, you got the chance to play against the big clans. And in this, it feels just so distant and so different than, it just feels too similar to the general game that it's just not right. So that's my opinions. Do I like it effectively? No. Am I going to play it? Yes. So take that as what you wish. Call me a hypocrite if you'd like, because at the end of the day, I probably am. But I hope that explained it. You know, if you do have any questions, you do want to share your opinions, please do let me know in the comments. I'd love to have a discussion with you all on what your opinions are, whether you're a casual player, whether you play on NA, EU, Asia, whatever. Please do let me know, because I would like to know your opinions upon this new event so I can kind of gather a general collective. But I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.